Which of these stories will you be talking about tomorrow as the former chief of gas and oil leases in the Gulf quits the MMS? The new BP siphon system has cut the oil spill by nearly 2%.
We should be able to get more than 1,000 barrels a day.
Out of an estimated 50,000 barrels a day. It's a straw in a swimming pool, a bendy straw in a swimming pool. Why won't BP bring in outside scientists with Congressman Ed Markey? We're now joined by Congressman Ed Markey, the Democrat of Massachusetts, chairman of the House Select Committee on Energy Independence and Global Warming. Great, thanks for your time tonight, Congressman.
Thank you for having me.
We asked BP on Friday whether they had the backup devices that are called acoustic switches on the 2 relief wells that they were putting into that site, and whether the blowout preventers on those rigs had been checked out by government regulators so the same thing didn't happen all over again. And the answer we got from BP was, we don't know. How are you doing getting your information from them?
Well, as we know, BP certified last summer that they could handle a spill 50 times greater than the one they claim is happening right now. And so, in answer to your question, I think it's pretty clear they're making it up. When you talk about shooting golf balls down to clog up this hole, when you talk about nylons and hair to sop up the oil, it's pretty clear that they spent a lot of money on new drills, but they didn't spend a lot of money in dealing with what happens if those drills don't work.
This issue of the dispersants, why is the EPA letting BP choose dispersants made by a company that they have a tie to, and obviously that presents at least the appearance of a conflict of interest, especially when the local officials are having their questions about the efficacy and the safety of the dispersant?
Well, I wrote a letter to the EPA today on the issue of the dispersants. We have to learn a lot more about this science experiment which is being conducted in the Gulf of Mexico. We are in all new territory, and I think that the American people have to know a lot more about it, and I'm going to make sure that Congress gets the answers early on before we go too far down this track of shooting these chemicals into the water, which could have long-term catastrophic consequences that invoke the law of unintended consequences. We just don't know.
Congressman Markey, why exactly do we need BP to get anything done here? Seems like they've done enough. Why not just bring in people to estimate the size and the location of the plumes and attend to them and then hand BP a bill afterwards? Why is BP running this show?
My opinion, I think that we should have independent people in. I think that there are experts from Woods Hole to MIT out to Caltech down in the universities in the Gulf region who are ready, willing, and able to move in and give the long-term scientific expertise to solve these problems. But so far, BP is pretending that this is just one big privatized program that doesn't need outside help. But I think the evidence is clear that they don't know what they're doing, and I think the quicker we get in the independent scientists is the quicker we're going to bring an end to this catastrophe.
We're assuming it can't be a coincidence that Mr. Owens is out, and we find out about this now, and then he resigned right after the explosion on this rig. He'd been promoted after he told investigators he did not remember the oil companies telling, or themselves telling him about the $10 billion mistake, the taxpayer money that they got in addition to what they deserved. Why was he, in your opinion, still running things a year and a half after the president had put in former Senator Salazar to clean things up at that administration?
Well, a lot of the decisions, as you're pointing out, were made during the Bush administration or during the time that President Obama was putting his own people over there right up through last July. So unfortunately, we're still living with the consequences of decisions that were made by Bush appointees right up through the middle of last year when President Obama was finally able to put his own people in. And his resignation is just an indication of how cozy the cooperation was between the Bush administration and the oil industry.
Congressman Ed Markey, the Democrat of Massachusetts, great thanks for your time tonight. Good luck as you pursue this, sir.
Thank you, sir.